YeahNah, I am Elaine Reeves, and today, welcome to yet another interview held right here at the Colony Hotel in Congo Town, Monrovia, Liberia. Today, I have a very fashionable, eloquent, beautiful, and intelligent woman as my guest, and I will better introduce her right after the break, so do not go anywhere. We'll be right back. YeahNah. Welcome back, and I am Elaine Reeves, and like I said, I have the wonderful Vivian Neejay Innis-McGill as my guest today. How are you?
I'm doing very good today.
I love the oranges popping.
Thank you. Thank
Okay,
you.
so
Thank you.
let's, I don't normally do this, but who are you wearing?
So actually, this is a design that was made right here in Liberia.
Okay.
So Vera usually does my clothes, and she has a place at EW Junction. It's called Saint Faction. Yes. So
Oh, so there's a library made dress.
yes, it is.
Nice.
Yeah.
Really nice.
Thank you.
All right, so can you tell me who Vivian Neejay Innis-McGill is?
So thank you for having me here today. I'm Vivian Neejay Innis, and I was born in Bombing County about 40 years ago by the union of Mr. and Mrs. James G. Innis Sr. Mr. Innis is currently late. My mother is also alive. And I am a development practitioner, gender specialist, and I am currently the CEO for Need for Women Liberia. So Need for Women, we are into women economic empowerment in Liberia, and we are also pushing for women social entrepreneurship, ensuring that women economic needs are met, and also that products are being verified and also being used in other parts of the countries, and hopefully at a time we can also venture into cross-border trade. But prior to being the CEO for Need for Women, I have worked with the UNDP Liberia, where I served as the gender specialist for 4 years plus. And before that, I used to work for the Ministry of Gender as the UN Security Council Resolution 1325 supervisor. And basically, this is me. I live here. I'm very sociable also, even though I'm a professional person, but also interact and meet up with a lot of people in Liberia. So this is Vivian Neejay Innis-McGill.
Okay, and like I said from the beginning, you're very fashionable. I've seen your social media, and you're one of the best dressed celebrities in Liberia. Where do you get your fashion inspiration from?
So, fashion is something that we feel within ourselves. So it's something that I grew up with.
Yeah.
And while growing up, I had this name from school, Chicken Queen. And even that reached up to college level. So everywhere I pass in Monrovia, yeah, people call me Chicken Queen because of the way I dress. But this has been inspired by just the way I feel when I get up in the morning. I want to feel good. So I dress up. It makes me to feel good. And helps in making me very productive as well.
Okay. Looking good is a business.
It is a business.
All right. So your name, Niji, I'm pretty sure it's a native name. Where, what's the meaning of the name, and where does it hail from?
So it's a Bassa name. My dad is from Grand Bassa, and my mother is from Bombing County. So my father met my mother actually in Bombing County where I was born, and they got married. But then I was given a Bassa name, and the meaning of this name is for your business. So in Bassa, for your business can also be as because of you.
Yeah.
And my mom said that because of me, there were a lot of things that she took from my dad. And because of me, there are a lot of good things that also happen for them.
Yeah.
So the meaning of my name has also been something I have lived by. Because of you or because of me, a lot of good things happen.
Yeah.
And I believe in it so much.
All right, that's great. You're a professional woman. You're also a mother. You're also the wife of an honorary person here in Liberia, Nathaniel McGill, and you also are into women empowerment and activism. How do you balance your professional life and your personal life?
I think my balance inspiration comes from the fact that I believe in myself, and I being a wife to Nathaniel McGill. It's another thing. I also feel that it's a great thing. I'm proud of being his wife. But because of who I am, and even my name, because of you, there are a lot of good things that are supposed to be happening. Not only because I'm Nathaniel Fallows McGill wife, but I believe that my self-belief has placed me in a position that I have a role to play in society. And because of that, I wake up every morning thinking that I have something to do. I have somebody's life to change, and I got to do it. Because of me, I know that a lot of stuff can be done in Liberia. A lot of changes can happen, especially for women of Liberia.
So you're moving in your name.
In my name, exactly.
All right. And what can you say about women empowerment in Liberia? How is it like? What's your take on it?
I believe we have come a far way in Liberia with pushing for women role, and because of the advocacies that have been ongoing for the past year, and even for us being the first African country to have a female president, we have come a far way. Notwithstanding, I believe that a lot of work still need to be done, especially with the advocacy and social change aspect of our lives. Because change will come, we'll do a lot of advocacies and what have you, but again, and we have a lot of documents on paper, but if we don't implement these documents and protocols that we have signed up to as a country, it's going nowhere. And I believe that it cannot stop by training people and getting women at workshops, getting women to protest. It goes beyond that. And it also starts from our homes. The way we interpret the women empowerment and gender equality is very key. I had a conversation the past 2 days with some kids, and at a graduation program, one of my things that I spoke about, that I charged them, was that as parents and also kids coming up, it is important that we ensure that within our environment, homes and school, that we make them understand the different roles that we have to play, but also we should push the equity aspect of it. Women or girls can be anything a guy can be.
Sure.
And one of the things that have actually stopped most of our advocacy work or has hindered it is that these stereotypes that starts from the early stage, we haven't been able to stop it. Take for example, you have boy and a girl in your home, and you always feel that a girl is supposed to be the one to cook
Yes.
and a boy to be the one to clean. It should not be that way.
True.
And also another thing we usually do is that we feel that a color pink should be for female, blue should be for boy.
Preaching to the choir.
Yes, so these are stereotypes. It may sound good.
Yeah.
However, if we look at those ones that sound good and we are not stopping them,
Yes.
we could also go into an area that it could get terrible and things could go bad. I also talked to them about one thing that I noticed. I've also been into politics in Liberia, and I realized that even within political parties, there are stereotypes. Why do we have women wins? We don't need women win if we don't have a man win.
Yeah.
So we are doing this segregation to place women in a position that we are a secondary citizen of
We
Liberia,
the minorities.
or we are the minority.
Yeah.
We agree that we are in a position that we came from a place where these things were not happening. But as times go by, if we really want to change, we should not be doing these same things that we did years ago. Putting women in one segment, women win, and men on the other side, and most often the women wins are not there to make decisions. So I believe that in Liberia we have done a lot, but the social part of it, the little things that we are not touching, needs to be touched, and we need to speak about it. We need to start from our homes. We need to train our children, even in schools. There should be an area in the curriculum that will have space for gender issues or gender discussions that can help to enlighten the minds of young people so that as they grow, because at a tender age is where these things form part of you. If we leave everything and say, oh, the older people are going to take charge, what kind of generation are we going to have next?
Exactly.
So we have done a lot, and because of the advocacy, well, we can still do better.
All right, awesome. And I like the points that you pointed out, because these are things that I keep saying to people, right? Like the color from birth. Who told you girls must be in pink and boys must be in blue? And who also told you that girls need to be in the kitchen? Who told you men can learn how to cook as well? And I am someone who also suffer from that. My brother will be watching TV or doing something else, and my mom will say, "Oh, you need to be in the kitchen. You're a woman." So you're always already like creating that mindset that yes, I belong in the kitchen, and I'm just supposed to be a caregiver and stuff like that. So I think, and those are the foundations. And when you don't hit the foundation or start from the foundation, everything you're doing up there is just great. So Vivian, when did you realize that yes, I would want to be like, I want to form a part of advocacy, I want to like be part of activism? When was it? When did you wake up and be like, oh yes, I need to do this?
So growing up, I always had passion for women issues and also working with people within communities. I'm very passionate of feeding for people. So while growing up, I had this perception that I was going to become a lawyer. Even today now, I have entered into law school, but the development practitioner part of it, or development studies part of it, came later on. After I work in the private sector, I work with a bank, GT Bank in Liberia. We were the first set of people who actually came into setting up GT Bank in Liberia. So I headed the retail banking aspect of that bank. After that, there was something in me that told me that I wasn't being fulfilled. This is not what I wanted to do. So I took a leap of faith and decided to search for scholarship to do a development studies, because by then I already had my bachelor's degree. Then I found this great school that I thought actually captured everything I wanted to know. Brandeis University in the USA. So I went in, but before going to Brandeis, I decided to venture into the development field. So I left GT Bank and started to work for gender ministry. My first gig at gender ministry was M&E officer. And this came about me just pushing. So I said I would try. They had this program, social cash transfer for Liberia. It was the first pilot project at that time that, and they were recruiting beginners. So I took a leap of faith again and said I would enter in the space and see how it goes. And to be honest, when I started to work in counties, it was when I really felt the need of having a master degree to actually push my passion. Then I went to do the Sustainable International Development, which is another whole story. But then the program was something that changed my life. And I can tell people that this was one experience that I've never forgotten about, and I always live for it, because I met so many great people and I heard so many stories from everywhere around the world, because we have about 75% foreign students. So you can imagine the kind of workshops and parties we're having, the kind of conversations we're having. So my passion grew more. And that was when I decided to say, everything I do in this course, I'm going to link it to my country, and I'm going to focus majority of my papers I'm reading on gender equality issues. And my thesis was hearing about the 30% gender equity quota in Liberia. So I did my research after that, and my findings was one of the best in the school. And this is where I am today. I consider this field to be my life, even though I have also ventured into the law area, which I'm hoping to blend with access to justice for women and girls in Liberia.
Awesome. That is awesome. All right, so speaking, that was going to be my next question. Let's talk about your law that you're doing now. Do you have any political aspirations? Because you also mentioned that you've also like been into politics and seen how it has been. Do you have any political aspirations?
Yes, I do have, and quite honestly, I have worked in about 2 different political parties in Liberia.
Okay.
And I've held positions at the hierarchy. Like my first time being a voter in Liberia, I was part of Liberia Action Party. And I served on the National Youth Wing as the financial secretary. After which we joined with the Unity Party after doing Elaine second term. And I was one of the members of the first campaign committee, but then I had to leave Liberia to go to school.
Yeah.
So while in the US, I shifted to Liberia Action Party, and I became the gender policy person at the national level. So I was providing briefs for the party and the standard bearer back then, and also ensuring that we had the gender lens within everything that we do. So I've always been passionate about politics, and I believe that I'm going to push forward to becoming one one day a representative or a senator in Liberia. I can tell you about that. And you spoke about my law.
Yeah.
Currently, I'm a 10-year student, supposed to be, because my last semester just ended. I haven't seen all my grades, but hopefully this year is going to be my final year. So I believe that what I have done in the past years, that the work I have done with UNDP, the work at Gender Ministry, have also pushed me to doing law. Because while I was at UNDP, I work with the security sector in Liberia, and one of the areas that I worked with had to do with gender-based violence issues in Liberia. And usually I was conducting these trainings with security sector actors, and I didn't have the full knowledge of the law. And I was there training lawyers, training police, and never had much knowledge on law. So I felt the need of getting into that field to enlighten myself and to also provide a space that I can be of help, especially in the area of access to justice for women and girls. This is something I've also proposed to the school while I was doing my interview before getting enrolled in the UL. I asked that there should be an area for access to justice for women and girls, even if it is at an elective level where we can just take a weekend and have this conversation. There are other countries that are doing it because there are lawyers here who have broad knowledge on the law, but when it comes to issues relating to women and girls, they don't have much knowledge and also the rights part of it. And these are things that we could bring in to being by having the workshops at schools and having student gathering where we can have these conversations and push for that, because we have all these different international protocols that we have signed up to, but honestly, majority of our people who are even great lawyers really do not understand these protocols. How do we break them down, and how do we treat women different when it comes to them having their case in court? Because there are people who will see you and you will hear people actually talking about, when you handle SGBV issue, talking about why is this girl dressed like this.
Yeah, so you
So
don't have the freedom to dress how you
yes,
want to, because there are certain
why
things that
did
can
she
control
even
themselves.
dress like this? Maybe she actually pushed for herself to be raped,
Yeah.
and she encouraged men to come at her. But what about the babies? So there are some things that need to be clear, and actually as a lawyer you need to understand the rights part of it, and some of the questions you even ask in court. You should not ask her what she went to do there. You should be very careful and mindful because these are delicate issues.
She's already traumatized with the experience.
Exactly. So those are some of the things that I've proposed, and I'm thinking that even if it doesn't work for the UL, in the future, while I'm running this organization, I can also bring into play the access to justice for women and girls. There are a lot of advocacies going about in that line, but to be honest, the concept is not really out there, especially among the legal practitioners. And I believe that they should be the first hand people that should have this information to spread the message.
All right, awesome.
Thank you.
That's great. We're going to take a short break, and when we get back, I'll have a few other questions to ask, and then we wrap up. We'll take a very short break, and when we get back, we'll get into more questions. And
Okay.
just stay with us. I'm here with Vivian McGill, and I'm Elaine Reeves. YeahNah. We'll be right back. YeahNah, welcome back. I'm Elaine Reeves, and we're still here at the Colony Hotel in Congotown, Monrovia, Liberia, with my very beautiful guest, intelligent and empowered, with very white teeth.
Good one.
Yeah, Vivian Neejay Innis-McGill. So welcome back. Let's just get straight into the second segment.
Okay.
So looking at Liberia being the country of first, we were the first to have a female president in Africa. That's Her Excellency Madame Sirleaf. Also, the first the president of the United Nations General Assembly, Angie Brooks, also hailed from Liberia.
Yeah.
And then a president of a university in Africa,
Yeah.
Dr. Mary Antoinette Brown
Brown
Sherman,
Sherman.
also hailed from Liberia. With all that amount of first at a very high level, why isn't Liberia there yet as it relates to gender equality?
Well, thank you, and it's good being back.
Yeah.
So I would say that Liberia, we have come a far way, but then there are a lot of things that are in play right now that we can say we are on that track of getting gender equality. Notwithstanding, we have a lot more to do in the areas of laws for women in Liberia, because from history we know that women were not into full play when it comes to even having jobs, even going to school. After a few years, we have transitioned from that point of getting educated, owning lands, and what have you. But I believe that for us to move forward, there's a need for the equity part of it. You cannot have gender equality without equity. And the equity comes in with the help pushing us.
Yes.
So even when it comes to laws in Liberia that has to do with the women economic empowerment part, like for commerce, if a woman is going into business, there should be something that should be there, a subsidy or something that should be there to help her to say, okay, you don't need to bring all this business registration, because those are things that can actually keep people back.
Yes.
Other countries have put in place plans to ensure that maybe they just go and get certificates. They don't have to have formal banking and all of those things before they can have business registration. Those are laws that can come in play to actually push to have equality, because having equality or talking about equality is just not equality. We should stand on the path like men, not to be men, but we need to work side by side along with our men. I always tell people I'm not a gender advocate that will push to become a man or to take the position of men, but I want to work along with men to ensure that we improve our country. Every great country in the world today that has succeeded has women at the top. And we cannot continue to talk about women in a way that we still keeping them in that bondage. Like,
Yeah.
we know we want you to be in power, but then you don't have the resources. How are we going to be in power?
Exactly.
Most women in the countries are into cross-border trade, or they are into SMEs, small business, small and medium enterprises. Really don't have the capital to push their businesses. How can we have laws to ensure that women don't have to go through all the struggles
Yeah.
of having this bank account, or even having certificate before you can do your registration, and all those things cost money. First of all, you don't even have the money to start the business, and now going into business you need to pay all these different taxes and everything. Those are things that have strangulated women, and I believe the equality will come only if we have these laws and policy in place that will promote women work that they are doing, and even the household work that they are doing should be recognized, because there are a lot of women who sit home and their men feel that they are nothing. And those are not conversations that people want to have, and we should be having that. So I believe those little things can help to improve women's status within our society, and also put us at the path that we wish we want to be, or at the path that other countries are at currently.
So also, what would you say are the benefits of women empowerment in Liberia?
I would say that women economic empowerment for girls and women in Liberia is the transformative process of their lives. And I believe that when a woman is in power, her household will be in power. When you empower one girl, you empower a nation. That's a common saying all around. And it's not just a saying because we want to say it. We all know, we live in our homes and we know exactly what we do. So it is a process that should be encouraged, and we should push for that, because every woman needs her own cash to stand up.
True.
We all know how we get suppressed when we depend on our men. And that's a terrible feeling. I wouldn't want any woman to get into that. Be a educated woman or woman who is not educated. Because I also believe that women, a woman can be a very much inspirational to this society. Even if she sit in Blogonjide and selling her fish, she can inspire a whole community to become like her. We are so powerful in so many ways. We don't have to have formal education to actually be that face that will stand up for other women. So women economic empowerment is key, and it's a process that we should push in Liberia because it will help our society to transform.
Great, awesome. So we're just wrapping up now.
Okay.
You're very eloquent, you're very beautiful, you're very fashionable. How would you describe yourself in 3 words?
I will say I'm brave, adventurous, resilient.
Brave, adventurous, and resilient. Great. So, final words before I let go of you.
Well, today was a very great day, and I really do appreciate, even though, like I said to you off camera, that I haven't been in this space for a period. But to be honest, I'm happy that I came, and I would love to do this more and more, at least to share my ideas on topics that I'm also enlightened on. I may not be an expert in the field, but those are areas I've worked, and I can share ideas to others who will also benefit. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Thank you for also gracing our platform.
Yeah.
It was really nice having you, and we're going to follow you and see if we can have you another time in the future to see how far you've gone. Yeah, when you graduate from our law school, invite me to that graduation, by the way.
Definitely, I will.
All right, so thank you so much for coming.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
All right, so this is how we come to the end of this wonderful interview, and I hope you were educated and you also had fun. Till next time, keep following the Life and Heritage Society. My name is Elaine Reeves, and my guest was Vivian Neejay Innis-McGill, gracing this platform today. Keep following us, and you know how we do it here. YeahNah.